This is Christopher from Rexoria, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
You said we're waiting on somebody else, or?
Yeah, Frida and Martin.
All right, cool. You guys doing all right today?
Hmm?
You doing all right today?
Yeah, it's been a long day so far, but yeah.
You've been doing interviews all day?
Not all day, but like
enough
an hour.
Of them.
No, I mean it's nice being interviewed.
I guess it's better than nobody paying any attention, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, and the sun has been shining for the first time for like 10 years now in Sweden.
Oh, that's right, because you get that 24 hours of darkness there, right?
Yeah.
It has been like that for a couple of months now, so.
I don't know how in the world you deal with that. That would drive me nuts.
Yeah, you get used to it, I guess.
I cannot get used to it. I just hate it.
You want to get started, and if he jumps in, we'll just jump him in?
Okay.
Is that okay?
It's fine with me.
All right, cool. So let's talk about Rexoria. Third album, Imperial Dawn, was released, I guess, last week, right? Last Friday?
Correct.
Now that it's out, what's been the response to it so far?
It's been really good. I'm not the one who is on the social medias where most of the comments and stuff are coming. Maybe, Christopher, you know a bit more about that part.
Yeah, but I'll say in general, we got really good comments and everyone seems to be happy with it. So it's been good.
And how do you guys feel about it after it's done? Are you satisfied with the way it came out?
Yeah, we are really satisfied with it. I mean, we got it on CD and vinyl and also on digital. So, I mean, very, very happy. And yeah, I think we couldn't made it better, to be honest.
Awesome. So let's, I'm just going through my notes here. Really mixed by Steven from Within Temptation. How did you guys decide on that?
We had some discussions what kind of sound we wanted with this album from the first beginning. And then, okay, we want the keyboard to be more lifted up than previous albums and so on. So we were checking out many different engineers. And then we actually found Stefan. So we sent him the older demo we had and thought if he would be interested. And he replied that, yeah, let's do it. So it was, and we are really, really happy about the result.
Working with him was good?
Yeah, it was really good and really smooth. I mean, we were recording everything in our own studios here. And he was like helping us, okay, you can think about the acoustic and everything. I mean, he helped us in every way, and communicating in Swedish, it also helps a bit, and always very fast to reply. And yeah, he was really, really nice to work with.
Okay. So is there something you want your fans to take away from, or a message you want after they listen to the Imperial Dawn?
That's all right.
Yeah, you can take that, Frida.
Not a message, really. It depends on which song you're listening to. It also all songs have different, lyrics and kind of styles. So it depends on what mood you're on. I think you can have one song at Imperial Dawn for every mood you're at. When you're furious, you might listen to Rage and Madness, but if you want a love battle and cry a bit, you can listen to Devious Desire. So it depends on what you're at.
Gotcha. So there's a little bit of something for everyone.
Yeah, I believe
for every mood, anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
What was the writing process like? Are you guys able to get together and write in the same room, like the old traditional ways, or is it more emailing stuff back and forth?
Yeah, on the previous 2 albums, we have been more like having this emailing stuff, trying to take an advance of the digital. But we tried that on a couple of songs, but we realized that, okay, we know we can do this better. So we said, okay, let's sit together in the same room, just a guitar, maybe keyboard, and just come up with something we can do some detail coordination from the beginning. And after a couple of songs in that way, we realized, okay, this is it. This is how we're gonna do the album. And I mean, there were a lot of good things with that we could communicate right away. And I mean, not doing something that the other one thought something different about. So we really had the same vision from the very first beginning,
right?
Which was really good in that process.
In the end, I think it makes it more organic, right? I mean, some of the albums that we grew up listening to, some of the most influential albums in the world were written that way. And artists bounced ideas off each other right on the spot instead of, sending things electronically. And I think it shows in the final process.
Yeah, it's kind of clear. It was really clear for us, especially for me and Jonas, since when you're working by yourself, you might also work a bit too far. And then when I send over a melody or Jonas send over a riff, we have come so far in the song. It's like you kind of lost the first part of it when you're starting to
overthink,
elevate the song. So it's been really good for us to sit together and discuss every detail to really make it exactly as we wanted it from the beginning.
So one more question about songwriting then. When you're writing songs, are you writing them for how they're going to come across live in a live setting, how they're going to come across on stage, or are you writing songs for the song's sake?
Both.
I think it's both. I mean, sometimes you can have a feeling of a song, okay, this one will work really good live, and then you maybe adjust it so it should work really good live through the whole song. Then you don't put something acoustic for 3 minutes in that song if you have that feeling. So mostly, I think, if we think that this is a really good live song.
But you can also, do songs that may not fit at all live, that we know from the beginning that this is just a good song for the album. It fits very, very well for the album, but this is not something that people will enjoy live because maybe it'd be a slower beat or, not that hook live, but it's kind of a good song to have on the album.
Okay. What are you guys planning on doing live-wise? Are you planning on touring with this record, or is it too early to tell?
Christopher?
I mean, we hope to do some touring on this album. We haven't booked anything yet, but we'll see, looking what's out there and trying to make something happen.
Are you concerned at all about the post-pandemic playing out again, or because there's a number of things, right? Not only is it post-pandemic, but you also have a flood of bands probably trying to play all at the same time because they've been locked up for so long, right? How do you navigate that?
Yeah, that have been, it's been a quite challenge to work with this because we have felt that it's much more or less openings and announcements for tours and everything. And then we talked to bigger bands that we have played with before, and they said okay, but you guys might have to step back a while more because all of the tours that coming now, it's stuff that already are booked with support bands and everything since the pandemic. So you're still 1 year what do you say back you have to wait some more, so yeah, that's been quite challenging. So that's why we're also looking for maybe agencies and people who maybe can help us with this stuff now, because I think it's much harder during these years than before.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and fans only have so much money as well. So if there's 10 shows in town as opposed to 1 or 2, you can only do what you can do.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, very strange world we're living in.
Yes, right now it's a very strange world. I really don't like it, so that's why it's really good to have the music and have some enjoyment both for us and for the fans to
Yes. So I think, and you sort of just mentioned it there, but I think music, especially heavier music or, this kind of stuff, is very cathartic and definitely helps people get through the nonsense we're living in.
Yeah,
You agree?
I believe so. And you also, you have the community together with other people who maybe like metal and hard rock, and you can just, get nerdy about it and, talk to people in the same kind of way, and people understand each other. So I think that's a good thing to have kind of a hobby and an interest in that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you mentioned the community. I don't think there's a community like the metal community anywhere else in the world. I mean, everybody's like so tight and so, I guess the word you just used is nerdy, because you meet somebody for the first time and you start chatting about bands and riffs and songs.
Yes, you see someone, out of the town, just, oh my God, it's a metal church, church town and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that. You don't find that in the pop world or in the classical world. It's really, I think, strictly metal.
Exactly.
Very strange. So what do you guys have planned then? Are you continuing to write in the downtime, or are you just, I know you're promoting the record, but if you're not playing, what are you up to?
It's to relearning the songs. It's been a while since we wrote the album, and when we have gigs and maybe further on the tour also, then we need to be prepared for that. So it's, for my part, is to go through the songs and deciding, okay, which guitar should you play there, Christopher, and which should I play, and so on. So a lot of preparation is about that.
Rehearse for the shows. We haven't played so much together. It's mostly me and Jonas, sitting and playing the songs, and then we just going in the studio doing each instrument, but not playing it together. So starting to work on the.
So how long has the album been completed then?
We start. I think it took us almost a year from start to finish completely.
Right.
So
it was supposed to take a bit less time, but since we were so eager to since it took so much time since the last album, we wanted it to be really, really perfect and not,
right.
Don't exclude any details. So we were, taking some months to just, okay, shut your ears off, go back to the song, listen again, everything. Right. So it took.
So were you writing during the pandemic then, or was it this afterwards?
Both. Because the previous album was released, kind of at the same time when everything shut down. So we waited like maybe half a year there to see what the world was, where was it going, and then we started to realize that, okay, this is gonna take a while. So after that, we might started to write some songs. Me and Jonah started up maybe 2 songs, see what we're going, and then we took a break again, and back forth. So
okay, I do like that you guys released a record as opposed to just taking the singles route, which is sort of the new model of the music business, right? Because there's a whole process and a whole art form, I think, in sequencing in the record and how it's supposed to flow and the artwork and the whole deal that is sort of missing in the modern day music business, right?
Yeah. That might be also kind of, the metal hard rock style, maybe, even if this type of music also goes maybe that way. But, I believe that the album part is really important to metalheads and people in hard rock still. So I think you should keep that.
Is it tough to do that though, because everybody else is doing the 6-week single and then release another one, and a lot of people aren't even doing full records anymore, right? They're just doing a video single and then move on to the next video single. Was there any thought to that?
I mean, most of the other bands in our genre are, as we said, releasing full albums. So I don't think there is like a problem for us.
Much decision, right?
But of course, it's a bit sad that the development of some genres has been like that, because you lose the complete idea, what I think, of releasing an album, because it's so much more than just some music and the lyrics. It's, I mean, the whole picture of it. If you have it on vinyl, I mean, that big cover, and check the insert, and
Right, the liner notes, everything.
yeah, exactly. And I think for metalheads that is very important. So that's why more or less every metal band are still doing the old way. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love that, and I think that's the way it should be, because growing up, you saved your paper out money, you went to the record store on a Tuesday, it was release day, and you bought the record and listened to it the way you wanted it to, the way the artist wanted it to be, and you read the lyrics and the notes and who you thanked and where it was recorded. It was all like some big process, like a ritual almost.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Jonas has a point there, but I also think that since like Spotify has become such a big deal right now, and the kind of issue that you only can get on the big playlist and everything when you have a release, right. I think there might be a background there when you just release a single or an EP every year, because you have to have more times tighter together to get on the playlist to showcase everything. When you're writing an album, you maybe get one playlist, and then it takes like 2-3 years to next album before you get it again.
Right.
When other bands maybe have 5 chances during this time. So there's a way you have to level. If how much do you want to spread your words on the internet and the streaming platforms, right, and everything.
It's definitely very different.
Yeah.
So you guys act pretty active social media wise? If fans want to find you?
Yeah, we're working as hard as we can. I try to be as updated as possible. I think we have managed to people be pretty good at it. We have a lot of likes and comments on each post, even if we maybe post something that's not so news or big. Right. People comment and react. So yeah, I think we have made it much better than many other bands that can't move it forward. So I have worked really hard with that.
Yeah, that's a whole nother. You got to be super skilled at doing that. On top of being a musician, you got to be a social media expert and all this nonsense now.
Yeah, many stuff going around.
Yes, it's crazy how far we've come.
Yeah, exactly.
That's going to run me to the end of my questions. Did I miss anything you wanted to chat about?
No, I don't think so. I think we got it.
Yeah.
If fans want to find you, can you give us your social media?
Yeah, we have a very, very unique name. So just Rexoria on Facebook, Rexoria on Spotify,
Google,
Instagram. Everywhere we have just the same name, Rexoria, so they can check it out.
Okay. So I do have one more for you, and then I'll let you go. This is a sort of a big one, but why do you think so many great metal bands especially come out of those Scandinavian countries like Sweden and Finland and Norway?
I think we have so bored and bad weather here, so we need to do something. And we are writing music.
I was actually going to say that we don't have anything else to do. We just sit.
That may be the correct answer.
or that we are very bored people, so we are need to do something. So that's why we learned an instrument.
Because it's a very inordinate amount, right? I mean, you look at those small Scandinavian countries compared to the rest of the world, and you guys are pushing out some of the best metal out there.
Yeah, I don't really know why it is like that, to be honest.
I believe also that, since we are a much smaller country, we also get a very more intimate community with other bands that also push now. So you can take tips from each other. You can talk more together, even with the bigger and the smaller bands. You can take tips from each other. So I think it's one of that. We have gotten a lot of help from other big bands who we have toured with, and so I think that's you can get in touch very easily with other bands as well. So I think that's a good thing.
On the flip side of that, though, does it make it too competitive, or that's not really an issue?
We haven't felt it yet. I don't know when you maybe step up. You came a little bit more, but of course you are competing of fewer spots on festivals and everything. But at the same time, when you have a band who had helped you out, you just get happy one day,
Right.
get a spot. So
Oh, sure.
yeah, I think.
And we're all in it together, so I agree.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweet. That's all I've got. Thank you, my friends. I hope that wasn't too bad.
No, it was awesome.
Excellent. Good luck with the record, and hopefully we'll see you somewhere, festivals or over here in the States somewhere.
Yeah, perfect. We would love to
That
come.
would be amazing.
Be well, my friends.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.